What's up, party people, and welcome to STONIECAST number 203 and season 6, episode 29 of Thoughts and Hunches, Making Money in Bunches and Sucker Punches. It's your boy Stony coming right back at you for the 203rd time, and I'd like to welcome all of my fellow heathens, fugitives from justice, scumbags, criminals, hoodlums, lowlifes, shady characters, scoundrels, altar boys with unhealthy relationships with their priests, hustlers, wise guys, hooligans, foul-mouthed raging alcoholics, MLB players that have got into a fight with Bryce Harper. Thanks for watching. You know who you are. Cheats, gangsters, fienders with abusive language, degenerates, let's face it, anybody that has a massive gambling problem. If you're new to the show, hey, that means you probably fit into one or a few of those categories, so welcome, because you're now one of us. One of us, gooba gobba, one of us, we accept him, one of us. Know the reference, that's all I gotta say. Hey, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down here in the lower right hand corner. That way you can get notified every time I put out a new video. To spread the word's also very easy. Just tell other fiendrets, degenerates, and scumbags you know, like my homeboy Simon in Las Vegas and his degenerate buddy Ethan, two freaking absolute degenerates. Just go to YouTube and enter Thoughts and Hunches right in the search bar. That'll take you to my page, and you can get dialed into everything that I give you. Also, if you're new and you don't know what's what with this channel, it's college and pro football winners, MLB playoff winners, and college basketball winners. And I just give you picks. No player props and absolutely no parlays, Matthew. Why? Because I don't like giving money away. The books don't expect a guy like me to deliver this many winners. You know, I'm an outlier and I'm a disruptor. I'm like the Beastie Boys. I disrupt.
Step inside the party, disrupt the whole scene.
Exactly like that. That's what I do. I go to the mattresses every single week and I get the info in order to get you to the window with a ticket to cash. Now, before I get to the picks, as usual, I have some thoughts.
Give me all you got. Give me all you got.
Tell him, Al. That a kid. Now, before I get to my thoughts, here's some housekeeping going forward. Next week's STONIECAST will not post until Saturday morning due to the late night games that are going to be going on every day next week, especially Friday. Plus the fact that I'll be at the SEC tournament, second round on Thursday, quarterfinals on Friday, which will run late, and semifinals on Saturday right here in Nashville. I'll be at these games. Now, in this STONIECAST, I'm only going to give you my picks for regular season games tomorrow. Because again, there's tons of games going on right now, which I'm watching, and there's a few more coming up later on tonight that haven't even started. So for all conference tournament matchups, check the comment section in this video tomorrow morning. And I'll have a bunch of them for you. A ton, actually. Now, the only conference championship game going tomorrow is the Ohio Valley Conference championship game. And that'll be the first actual ticket that gets punched along with the Ivy League. But that's actually also tomorrow. Well, no, the Ivy League has a tournament. Who knows? Whatever. It's just crazy. But that's the only conference tournament going on. So, and right now, we still don't know who's playing in that game. So, check the comments tomorrow, and I'll have them all for you, all right? Now, I'm going to start with taking some shots at someone, and that's Chad Baker-Mazara. The USC forward went down hard early in the second half of Sunday's loss to Nebraska, and he never made it back on the court, and is now off the team. He told head coach Eric Musselman, Donnie's boy, who I hate, that he couldn't go. And he spent the rest of the second half not sitting on the bench, but sitting in the front row behind the bench with a girl eating popcorn. Now, later Sunday night, USC, also known as the University of Spoiled Children, announced that he was gone and didn't provide any details. He was removed from the team, period. Forget about the fact that I despise USC and still don't understand why Musselman would leave Arkansas after one bad season to move to LA of all places. But this Baker Mazzara situation shows again why the NCAA system has been broken ever since they decided to start paying players. I call them the University of Spoiled Children. Why? Well, Baker Mazzara proves it. And I'll tell you why. For starters, he's 26 years old. That's just insanity. USC is his fifth school. Yes, I said that correctly. His fifth fucking school, and he's 26. He started at Duquesne, then transferred to San Diego State, then somewhere called Northwest Florida State College for a year, then Auburn, and finally USC. There's so much wrong with this. He was good at San Diego State. I've never even heard of Northwest Florida State College. And he was an all-SEC player and the team's leading scorer in Auburn's run to the Final Four last season. This year he won the MVP of the Maui Invitational back in November, and that was with the condoms. I mean USC, Trojans. He was their leading scorer. Now he's gone. He's 26. He should have been gone 4 years ago. What the hell's going on here? And when that can be even possible. On Monday, former Auburn head coach Bruce Pearl was on Wake Up Barstool, and he said nice things about Baker Mazzara, but he also said that he has good days and he has bad days, and everyone knew this. Why did he leave a Final Four team in Auburn last year? Well, he was upset that incoming Central Florida transfer Keyshawn Hall was doubling his $1.1 million NIL package to stay at Auburn. So Baker Mazzara then immediately entered the transfer portal and chose USC. Reports are now saying that he refused to sit on the bench with the team in the second half. USC's a train wreck. And while Mazzara is a mess and must take most of the blame, Musselman must also take the blame because he chose Baker Mazzara to come to La La Land. Paying players is the worst thing that ever happened to college sports. And thankfully, it hasn't hurt the product on the court or the field because the games have been riveting. But Baker Mazzara is just the latest case of spoiled kids wanting everything now instead of earning it. He should be in his fourth year in the NBA by now, but because of this, which NBA team is going to take a flyer on him now? Say hello to Europe, jackass. Next up, there's not really a name for this week in college hoops, but there really should be. Because not only are conference tournaments going on in the mid-majors, but the majors are finishing up their seasons right now, with many rivalry games happening tomorrow and basically all weekend. But more importantly, schools are trying to play their way into the tournament. Sure, they can increase their lots next week in their own conference tournaments, but this is a golden opportunity to make a last impression on the committee. Games have been good, and just as many teams that are playing their way into the tournament, just as many are playing their way out of it. My problem is that when it comes to the majors, how many teams should get in versus a second place mid-major team? What do I mean? Now, I'm not picking on anyone, but take Indiana, Cal, Texas, SMU, Auburn, and a whole host of other teams that are on the proverbial bubble, and compare them to someone like Santa Clara. We know that Gonzaga and St. Mary's are both tournament-worthy teams from the West Coast Conference, but Santa Clara is deep, talented, and has had a season that makes them worthy, but because they don't play in a major conference, they may get bypassed by one of the teams I listed above that have had opportunity after opportunity to prove their worthiness only to keep stubbing their toes. I'd love to see 3 teams from the WCC get in, as would I like to see 4 or 5 from the very deep Mountain West get in. But they won't because of the narrative surrounding the big boys. Another example just happened today, Belmont. Belmont dominated the Missouri Valley Conference this season, taking down all comers. They're more than deserving of a spot. but they lost in the first round of the MVC tournament. Now, they could be a bracket buster if they still get in, though the odds are that they won't. And that's sad. Now, what's a bracket buster? Someone like Belmont or Miami of Ohio, who I'm watching right now, leads by 5 with 15 minutes left. Those are... They should be in the tournament. Belmont and Miami should be in the tournament, right? But they play in one bid leagues or conferences, and it'll be hard for the committee to justify putting 2 teams from the Missouri Valley in the big dance. Now, Belmont has to play the waiting game until Selection Sunday, or they're NIT bound. But I think they're NIT bound regardless. So pay attention this weekend, and obviously next week during conference tournament week, as a lot of these questions are going to be answered before Selection Sunday, which is only 9 days away for those of you not paying attention, all right? Now, as for the week that was last week, we got a 1-point game now. It's 65-60 over here. 15 to play up, and Miami loses this. I mean, they're a tournament team, I think, but if they don't win this game, then they're out. By a lot of people think they're out. Anyway, whatever. All right. A really rough go through the first 3 days of the week had me worrying that my streak of 11 straight winning weeks was in jeopardy, and in fact it was. But Saturday I put it all to bed with a massive 20-7 day, which was my best Saturday of the season. Now, Sunday wasn't very good, but the damage was done. And I wound up running my winning streak to 12 straight winning weeks. Those are just fat numbers right now. The large is back. If you're not making money on my picks right now, it's your fault, Tree. All right? Get it together, Tinker Man. The numbers weren't big, but after what I was looking at all week, I'm glad Saturday bailed me out. So let's take a peek at the numbers now. Last week, 54 wins, 44 losses. 55.1%. Certainly not huge, but it's profitable. NCAA basketball for the season now. 699 wins, 502 losses, 5 pushes. 58.2%. That's crushing it. With over 1,200 played so far this season. Now the degenerate special, I hit again last week. 21 wins, 12 losses. 63.64%. St. Mary's was the cherry to cap off a massive day. So overall, all 28 episodes, over 2,000 picks that I've given you this season for free. 1,219 wins, 853 losses, 13 pushes. 58.83%. Now, that drops me under 59 because of last week, but there's still another month to go to get back over 59. And that only means one thing.
Wow, winning.
Exactly. Tell them, Charlie. Now, once again, please remember that all these picks are 100% free. So for all the touts out there that are charging you for picks and giving you 75 to 80% winners guaranteed, documented, just stop, all right? Brent Musburger, we all know you're full of shit. Plus, you're charging for these picks.
Oh!
I mean, come on. Really? With me, it's simple. I drop my plays on you for free. Just come into YouTube. Plus, I want you all to know that these are all bets that I'm going to personally make with my own money. So I'm not just throwing darts at a dartboard and blindly picking random games. All right, you ready? Let's do this. Away we go. Episode number 29.
Just win, baby.
That's right, Al. You tell them. The week started off with an 0-2 Monday, 11-11 on Tuesday, and then your boy got hot. 19-11 over the last 2 days is as good as it gets. But I have to overcome my slow starts. I've been starting off slow and then getting hot as the night progresses, right? So I'm closing well. And that's the bottom line, because if you're closing well, you know.
Clacking lots of dollars, we all got gold.
That's what happens when you close well. Thanks, Mix-a-Lot. Now, for tomorrow, keep in mind, these are games that I like, and these are the current numbers as of around, 9, 10 Eastern on Friday night. and are absolutely subject to change, so let's get after it. I'm going to start at noon Eastern on ACC Network, and I'll roll with Georgia Tech catching 19 at Clemson. Too many points for Clemson to lay, though they're going to win easily. Noon Eastern on the CW Network, give me Virginia Tech on the road plus 10 at Virginia. The Cavs are playing for seeding, while a win here will probably put Va Tech in, as they're squarely on the bubble right now. The Hokies are going to fall short, but they already beat UVA last month, and they're going to give them all they can handle. Noon Eastern on ESPN, I'll take Missouri catching 3 at home versus Arkansas with a little bit of a sprinkle on the money line.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me, man.
That a kid. Tell him, Earl. Darius Acuff Jr., the front runner for SEC Player of the Year, he's doubtful. And even if he does go, he ain't healthy. Mizzou gets one at home after losing in Fayetteville 2 weeks ago. Noon Eastern on CBS, I like Oklahoma State at home plus 13.5 over Houston. Houston's a better team, but they haven't played well the last few weeks. They'll get the win here, but this is too many points to lay on the road. 12:30 Eastern on Big Fox. I'm all over Connecticut, laying 9 on the road at Marquette. I've enjoyed cashing tickets betting against UConn the last few weeks, but there's no threat here. And UConn ends their season with a blowout in Milwaukee. Regular season. Noon Eastern on ESPNU. I'm on Louisville on the road, laying a point and a hook at Miami. Louisville hasn't played well lately, and they've lost their last 3 on the road, but those were to SMU, Clemson, and North Carolina. While Miami keeps winning, but they're beating shit teams right now. Give me the Cards on the road. 2 Eastern on CBS, I'll roll with Kansas at home, laying 17 over Kansas State. Big number. KSU's been done for a while now, and the Jayhawks need to get their mojo back. Their season-ending game against the rival at Allen Fieldhouse, that's going to go badly for K-State. Give me a second here. My glasses keep sliding on my nose. Sorry. All right. Staying in the Big 12 at 2 Eastern on FS1. Give me Iowa State at home minus 14 over Arizona State. Forget about ISU losing 3 out of 4. Their only home loss was the Texas Tech last Saturday. That won't happen here as Hilton Magic comes, and this one gets out of hand. 2 Eastern on ESPN, I'm on Vanderbilt, catching 5 at Tennessee. UT knocked off Vandy in Nashville 2 weeks ago, but hasn't played well since. A win for Vandy puts them into a tie with Tennessee for a first-round SEC tournament bye. The Commodores may not pull it off, but I'll gladly take the points on Rocky Top. 2 Eastern on TNT, I'm on TCU, minus 2 and a chunk at home versus Cincinnati. This one looks like a trap because TCU's in the tournament and Cincinnati's not. But the Bearcats have played well lately. TCU at home should be 5 or 6. I'll gladly lay the 2.5, hold my balls, and pray this one isn't a trap. 2:15 Eastern on the CW Network. Give me Stanford on the road catching 8 at North Carolina State. Stanford's on the bubble and they need a win plus a run in the ACC tournament. They won't get it. But NC State, despite being in the tournament, they've clearly been struggling lately.
Struggling.
Joe.
Struggling.
I knew that was you. One more time, Joe.
Struggling.
That a kid. Thanks, Joe. 3:30 Eastern on SEC Network, I'll take Georgia on the road, laying 5 and a hook at Mississippi State. Georgia's tournament bound and is playing for seeding, while Hail State mailed it in a long time ago. 4 Eastern on ESPN Plus, give me Utah State laying 7 at home versus New Mexico. Good game here. Neither team's playing well coming in, despite the fact that they're both tournament teams, and a win here for New Mexico gives them a share of the regular season title that they'll share with Utah State. Logan's a brutal place to win, and the Aggies are tough at home for a reason. Plus, USU blew out New Mexico in Albuquerque last month. Got to take USU. 4 Eastern on the ACC Network, I'm on Wake Forest minus 4 versus Cal. Wake is probably an NIT team. Well, Cal probably is too, because they're on the outside looking in according to most projections. They shouldn't get in. But they will because they play in the big bad ACC. It doesn't matter here though. Wake gets the win. 4 Eastern on CBS. I'll dance with Wisconsin on the road, catching 7 and a chunk at Purdue. Both teams need to get their shit together as they've both had issues down the stretch. They're both headed for the dance, and Purdue will not lose this one, but Wisconsin's bigs will be enough to cash the ticket. 4 Eastern on ESPN, I'm all over Florida, laying 7 on the road at Kentucky. UK is still a tournament team, but they're leaking oil right now, while the defending national champs are a buzzsaw right now. I would not want to play this Florida team because they are absolutely cruising. I don't care if this one is at Rupp Arena. Lay them. 4 Eastern on USA Network. Hold on. Before I get to that one. Miami of Ohio by 9. They're starting to pull away. I took Miami of Ohio tonight. I bet against them last couple times it hit. I made a lot of money on Miami of Ohio this year. On them, against them, whatever. But I seem to be hitting. So they're laying 5.5 here, and they're up 9 with 11 to go. So looking good. All right, 4 Eastern on USA Network. I'm going to take George Mason catching 8 at home versus St. Louis. The Billikens have already clinched at least the share of the Atlantic 10 regular season title, and a win here gets it for them outright. Mason's been a tough customer in the A10, and I could easily see these two meeting again in next week's conference tournament. St. Louis gets the win, but Mason shows that they have what's known as alligator blood.
Hanging around. Kids got alligator blood.
Teddy. That a kid, Teddy. A good Mountain West matchup goes at 4 Eastern, and I'm on Colorado State at home laying a point and a chunk versus Boise State. Now, I think both of these teams are tournament worthy, but they'll both be on the outside looking in as bigger conferences get the bids. The Rams are tough out at home, so I'm all over CSU. 5:30 Eastern on Big Fox. Give me Ohio State -4.5 over Indiana. Neither team belongs in the tournament, but they'll both get in because they play in the Big Ten instead of Belmont, Santa Clara, Colorado State, Boise State. This will be the nail in the coffin for Indiana, though, because the Buckeyes are brutal at home. 6:30 Eastern on ESPN. I'm all over Duke. -17 at home versus North Carolina. And I made my mind up on this a week ago. UNC beat Duke with a buzzer beater last month in Chapel Hill, but things have changed since then, all right? Carolina lost Caleb Wilson for the season, and Duke is just steamrolling teams. 17.5 points in this rivalry? I don't give a shit. I'm still laying them. 8:30 Eastern on ESPN, I'll take Alabama -8.5 at home versus Auburn. For some strange reason, Auburn's on the bubble, though it'll take a miracle for them to get in. A win tomorrow is going to go a long way, but it ain't going to happen. Roll Tide. 8:30 Eastern on SEC Network. I'll ride with Oklahoma on the road, catching 8 at Texas. This is another game of two teams that don't belong in the tournament, but will get in on name recognition and being from the big SEC. Too many points, though. Boomer sooner. 9 Eastern on FS1. I'm on UCLA laying 5 at USC. I told you all about USC's issues, and they basically checked out, but this is still a rivalry game, and UCLA doesn't play well on the road. But is this really a road game? Only 11 miles away? Bruins are in the tournament, and they're going to bury USC tomorrow. Because if you're a USC fan, then you got problems, Mike. You hear that? 10:30 Eastern on ESPN, I'll dance with Texas Tech on the road, laying a point and a hook at Brigham Young. This could be a massive showcase game for A.J. DeBonsa, who's been unbelievable this year and lived up to all of his hype. But Tech is no joke, and BYU never beats the big dogs in the Big 12. And finally, my version of the Degenerate special. I call it my version because there's more games going on after this, but we don't know who they are yet. We got to wait and see what happens in these remaining games tonight. So my version goes 11 Eastern on Il Duce, better known as The Deuce, or ESPN2, if you will. I'm going to take Colorado at home, catching 16 versus Arizona. I've been saying for months that Zona's the best team in the country, and they're going to win the tournament. They're going to win the whole thing. They'll win this one too, but Colorado's been sneaky good this season, especially at home, so I'm going to gladly take the big number. You have to at home. I mean, come on.
Show me the money.
Oh, that a kid. Ooh, Rod Tidwell from the top rope. That's 25 plays for now. But keep in mind that those are all the regular season matchups for the last Saturday of the season. Check back tomorrow morning before tip-off for all of my conference tournament plays. And believe me, there's going to be plenty. I'll probably wind up with close to 40 picks for tomorrow. Now, also check back every single day going forward as championship week keeps on going and gets huge on Wednesday and Thursday. There's just a ton of games. Now, I'm going to have daily picks for you in the comments section right here. And keep your eye out for STONIECAST 204, which will drop next Saturday morning. So until then, just remember, if you want to win big, you got to bet big. Scared money don't make money. You can't go broke taking a profit. Good teams win, but great teams cover. The less you bet, the more you lose when you win. Shout out Chris the Bear FALLICA. Now for me, the action is the juice.
But you know, for me, the action is the juice. Amen.
You tell him, Mikey. That a kid. The difference between winning and making money is that anyone can win betting chalk, but you can't make money unless you take the dogs. Do you want to win or do you want to make money? Big difference. Figure it out. God made life a gamble and we're still in the game. Shout out to the late, great Joe Diffie. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, good luck to you. Gooch, my brother, miss you, man, a lot.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.